The emergence of Web 2.0 tools has changed the world in ways that many would have not thought possible, and will continue to change the world in ways that we have not thought of yet. These immense changes have moved from the social sphere to business, and now are finally moving to education, and is awakening the educational world to the possibilities that these tools bring. When you consider this list of Web 2.0 tools, to me the most interesting thing about them is that they have not been created in just one area, but really they cover every medium imaginable. It has fundamentally transformed the way that we communicate, the way that we receive and process information, and the way that we present our viewpoints to the world. And most fundamentally, it has changed how we view the world. I am not just communicating with my relatively small circle of people that I see face to face, but I can be accessible to literally the whole world through social media and these Web 2.0 tools. It is the new reality of instant global communication that has transformed business. Or, as Thomas Friedman of the New York Times put it, it has made the world flat. It is getting flattened because new technology is making communication faster, more consistent, and more mobile. Web 2.0 tools make it possible to take advantage of these new technologies and work more efficiently and more interconnectedly. Because of the global marketplace and the rise of efficient and cheaply run companies from India, China, and other developing countries, businesses face new challenges to reach their customers and develop a relationship that will ensure further business, all while doing it cheaper than they ever have before. So they are competing like mad to use new Web 2.0 technologies, which are mostly free, to meet this challenge. They used to say of the British Empire that the sun never set on that empire, and that is a true statement again for business. The growth of internet access to even undeveloped parts of the world mean that there is a new labor force ready, willing, and able of working in these new fields, and it is growing every day. For most or all of them work for less than American and Western European workers do. In order for companies in America and the developed world to maintain their economic dominance, they have to adapt to the realities of a global economy. These companies must go beyond offering basic services to their customers and offer unique services and skills. These companies need employees that are able to use Web 2.0 technologies to accomplish a series of tasks that are related to bigger picture thinking and action, more than traditional customer service tasks. The Web 2.0 tools that are diminishing the current number of jobs are needed to develop new levels of jobs with special skills. Employees must be knowledgeable about the use of Web 2.0 tools and be able to develop their skills to use these tools and new tools as they emerge. Employees also need to build long-lasting, close relationships using their newfound skills with Web 2.0 tools. They must use these tools to develop the essential global relationships that are key to business success in the 21st century. They also must have critical thinking and problem-solving skills to solve outside-the-box problems. They need to be able to find solutions that no one has thought of before to problems that have yet to arise. Business must have employees that can take and synthesize large amounts of information and create a global picture. They have to pull in all these different ideas and come up with a big picture understanding of what the issues truly are about. The job of education has always been to prepare each generation to enter the workforce and be productive. The question then becomes, given that using Web 2.0 tools is essential for being successful in the business world in the 21st century, how can we accomplish this task? We must first accept that our traditional education system is no longer sufficient. We are currently jamming students' heads full of random information without any thought as to its relevance or importance in their careers and future. That lack of forethought will not cut it and is detrimental to students and our society at large. Students need to be prepared to use the Web 2.0 tools that currently exist and also be prepared to adapt any new tools that may exist in the future. That way students will be prepared to enter the workforce, perhaps even right out of high school. Thus, we are not changing the purpose of education, but the process of education, to give students the tools and experiences necessary to be successful in the 21st century. Given that we have this responsibility to help students develop these new skills, the question becomes, what should we do with these tools as educators, and how can we help students develop their abilities to use these Web 2.0 tools? These tools give teachers the opportunity to experiment with how information is delivered to students. They are changing the way that students learn and the way that teachers teach. For example, using the Khan Academy videos outside of the classroom allows class time to be used for student instruction, working on projects and discussions. It allows that traditional instructional time to be used in helping students develop their use of Web 2.0 tools. These tools also allow students to take control of their own education. They no longer have to wait for school hours. They have access to education 24/7. They can attend a school like PA Cyber or other schools that allow them to work at their own pace. Through these means, education becomes ever more flexible, and students' education is individualized to meet their needs. Finally, I think that we need these web tools to create opportunities for students to develop their ability to create, communicate, and share ideas with teachers and other students. We have always had students research and create projects, but even if you're a teacher who thinks outside the box, these activities are limited to the local school. Now students can create and share their work globally. They can write blogs, publish YouTube videos, create podcasts, join discussion boards that are accessed worldwide. Helping them to develop these skills prepares them to be a successful employee in the 21st century. Eric Scheiniger is a principal from New Jersey who was initially very resistant to the use of Web 2.0 tools in school. When he did get a Twitter account and learned how to use it, he has seen that it has been a successful educational tool and has brought many benefits to him and his school. It has increased his understanding of the value of Web 2.0 tools, as well as his ability to engage his teachers, students, and parents, drawing them into the world of education.
Inform my stakeholders, parents, students, teachers, about how we could use Twitter, for example, as one of many social media resources to communicate, to take control of our own public relations, to grow professionally for free, and to create a brand presence for our school, and to finally actually bring about opportunity to benefit the students of New Milford High School. And then we actually are now really looking at how to use different tools to increase student engagement, and the different programs run from Poll Everywhere, Wordle, VoiceThread, all these different resources that I never knew about, and most administrators and teachers across the country still don't know about. And it's made a world of difference in the lives of my students, because they're coming to school, they're creating to demonstrate mastery of their learning, and they're excited to come to school.
Salman Khan is the creator of the Khan Academy. He has been one of the visionaries of education who has been responsible for leading the transformation of the classroom from a traditional to virtual. In this interview, he discusses what led to the creation of the Khan Academy, as well as his ideas of the potential from where education can go into the future, and how the Khan Academy will contribute to it.
We're here at the Web 2.0 Summit in San Francisco. I'm with Salman Khan, the founder of Khan Academy. How's it going?
Good, good.
Good, well, I'm glad to hear. So you've created something in Khan Academy. It's khanacademy.org. Which seems to be fundamentally changing the way that people are able to learn using the internet. Can you talk a little bit about what it is, if anyone isn't familiar still with this story? Where did it start, and where do you stand now?
You know, it started kind of in a very organic way. 2004, I started tutoring cousins remotely. They were in New Orleans. I was in Boston at the time. And I started little exercises for them and all of that. And then 2006, and I had a day job. I was an analyst at an investment fund. And then 2006, I was like, how do I scale this up as this hobby? You know, I had like 15, 20 cousins that I was tutoring around the country. Okay. And I had a buddy who said, well, why don't you put some of your lectures on YouTube and your cousins can watch them? And I said, no, YouTube's for cats playing piano. It's not for, serious. But you know, I gave it a shot. And then, so it started with those YouTube videos and actually some primitive software, which people actually predates some of the videos, and you know, my cousins, I always joke about this, but true, they like me better on YouTube than in person, and I guess other people did too, and they started watching, and I started getting thank yous, and I started getting people saying, hey, no, this is changing how I perceive mathematics. I'm passing algebra now, or I'm able to go back to college now after not seeing math for 10 years. What we are now, and this is what I think is important for people to realize, the video library is there. It's being used by 3.5 million students a month, and we're translating into 10 languages and all of that, and we're actually adding faculty. But what we think we are is much more than just that video library. You know, there's 18 people in the organization right now. Most of them are software engineers working on our exercise and analytics platform, and then we also have a team really figuring out how this works in a classroom. How can we supercharge what happens in a classroom? And so if we, you fast forward over the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, we think our real power is we have this traction. We have this 3.5 million users. It grew 300% last year. Who knows where we'll be next year? We have this traction. They're already getting value. We're able to measure it, be very analytical about it. We can only iterate and improve on it from here. And so, you start doing A/B testing. You start seeing what happens in the classroom. You start adding more and more and more types of content, more types of ways for students to interact, not just videos, not just exercises, maybe multiplayer games, maybe ways for students to tutor each other on the site. We're already seeing that inside of classrooms. And I think we can start to really rethink a lot of what we've all been indoctrinated as what is the way to learn.
So that's actually a great jump off. I think you've talked about flipping the classroom a little bit.
Yeah.
So what do you mean by that? And
yeah, no, it's interesting. It's if you have catchy enough words, sometimes it's good for you, and sometimes it sometimes maybe gets too catchy. Well, I gave a talk at TED where I mentioned that early days, 2007, some teachers were saying, "Hey, you made a lecture on least common multiple or adding fractions, whatever." So those teachers said they didn't have to go to those lectures anymore. They can assign them to students at home, and then they do problems in the classroom. And just that is an improvement, because now you're making classrooms interactive. Students can pause and repeat videos, remediate, and it's, once again, not my idea. They flipped the classroom, and there's people have actually been doing this before Khan Academy videos, but we're really enabling that. The important thing I want people to realize is we view that as kind of a halfway solution, because even in that model, you still have everyone going lockstep by some state mandated curriculum. What we think we're about is, instead of a reality where people have a fixed amount of time to learn something and the variable is how well they learn it, we think the fixed thing should be how well they learn it, and the variable should be how long they have to learn it. And so the expectation is mastery. You move on, differentiated instruction. Don't do snapshot exams and say these are gifted kids and these are not gifted kids. Let everyone learn at their own pace, and we're seeing it in the data. These kids can surprise you, and sometimes the kids you thought are gifted, they had a couple of deficiencies that they can now remediate as well.
So it sounds.
Mark Zuckerberg is the creator of Facebook. In this video, he discusses the importance of using communication tools in education that are user-friendly, as individuals are more likely to use them for educational and business purposes when they are something that are user-friendly and fun to use.
Yeah, I mean, I think that a lot of the problems in education are technology around efficiently sharing things. And if someone could build a good application that got people engaged, then I think that there's a big opportunity there. I mean, one analogy is kind of enterprise software to consumer software. I think a lot of enterprise software gets developed from this mindset of like, I want a feature checklist, right? Rather than like, what is really good to use, right? And I think that that's one of the reasons why a lot of communication tools are going from, like a lot of communication that we do now, it goes over IM, right? It's not owned by whatever company's IT department you're operating under. It's a consumer product that people are using legitimately to do work. And the reason why they do that is because it's enjoyable to use. And I think the same is going to be true in a lot of like kind of traditionally non-consumer areas, right? Not only enterprise, but I think things like education as well, where traditionally the software hasn't been like as great to use as kind of the best consumer software. But I think that there's an opportunity now for people to do that and create great socially designed products, and I don't know, I think we'll see it.
As teachers, we are often resistant to change because we like the routine of the classroom. However, it is time for us to realize that the traditional classroom no longer serves our students the way that it once served us. We must look to Web 2.0 tools to create opportunities for student buy-in, to give students the opportunity to communicate in a form that they are comfortable with, and to help these students adapt these skills to a formal setting so that they will translate into the workforce of the future. Finally, we do not know what the future for schools or for society holds, but it is incumbent upon us as teachers to give our students the necessary skills to be successful no matter what circumstance they find themselves in life. Good night.